painting this nice rose here. Got on a few minutes late making a stencil, so I'm sorry about that. But I needed this stencil, so not that sorry. It will come out much better. It's easier to cut off the camera. I use a clipboard. It's a small 5x7. And yeah, that's it. So we'll wait for some people to come on and move forward. Get that set. All right, so we've got Create X paints. As always, mixed and ready to go. Little hand cut stencil. That's the rose, obviously. All right, so I'll start with the background and we'll go from there. Be working light to dark. So these paints have been pre-mixed. If you look for the blue, you look for, let's just take, I just made one color for the rose right now, the lightest color. I'm going to work from light to dark, and I am focusing on the background right now. So let me get started with, okay, I'm going to use the Micron, okay, and Letitia, I hope I'm saying that's right, Ortiz, how are you? I hope I didn't destroy your name there. I'm trying to, okay, so I've been using the Eclipse right up until now, actually, to, it's just, you know, top feed. Hello there. Raul, yes. Hello there. How are you? So I've been mixing with this. It's got the bigger nozzle. It's like a t-shirt gun without, you know, it's the same model, but the t-shirt gun has the siphon from the bottom. And of course, this nozzle has a little bit of a fine cone on it, but it's still way more user-friendly for opaque mixtures. So I can just bang through them. And for example, the green, okay, it's got white in it. As soon as you start putting white in it, you know, the tip dry on mixing these colors, that's the darkest color right there. So that's just an example of hopefully the colors disappearing into the background. It's going to fall. Okay, hold on a second here. These are my little containers, solo cups. All right, so the first thing I'm going to put down, and you're not even going to see it, is this white that's over in here. This is my notes of the full 5x7. It has 1 through 7, 8, 1 through 8. In other words, 8 mixtures of colors. Has nothing to do with the rose except for one color, number 8, because I'm going to be working from the lightest to the darkest. So the lightest is here. You guys can see that. And let me make sure that's pinned under there a little bit better. There we go. Can we move this? Okay. Once I get a little bit of this white in here, and I'm going to have to move that in a minute, we're talking about going on to the grays, going on to the blues. am working that's light to dark, because you don't want to put in the dark and you'll have a color shift. Color shift will be a horrible, you just can't spray the dark green first and then the lighter green. Try it. It won't work with opaques especially. Okay, so that was my little paper copy of tracing down the image onto the 5x7 Claybord. Okay, I'm using the Claybord because of the thorns. I've never really did too well with cutting out with Frisket or something on the Blair synthetic paper. I've ruined it, so I'll have to talk to Drew about that as far as how he gets that. And this isn't really one of those paintings where I'm going to be doing dowel work, with taking a wooden dowel and etching through things. I don't have to really worry about that. It's not really going to happen in this painting. So the only thing I'm going to Frisket really is part of the rose down here later, and because of the thorns. And I might use openings of negatives and positives of the rose to open up areas. Like I might cut out another copy and use this one where that shadow is and blow that color that way, etc. Right? But in the meantime, I'm going to let's put this down here out of the way and put a little bit of tape on the back of it so it doesn't blow away with the airbrush. Okay. I took this photograph myself. It's called the golden hour, right? So I focused on hunting for photos with the sun low in the sky, and I took my zoom lens on the Nikon, my camera that I hardly use anymore. I think it's a 5100. And I hunted all day long that particular day. I did it a lot back in the day. Paint originals, look at that cool sunlight coming through the thorns, lighting up the flower. When I focused on the dead center of the flower, the sky and clouds and green grass and trees all got out of focus. So it creates a very beautiful bokeh background, okay, which is rather easy to paint in the sense of sharpness. It's blur, and that's what the airbrush does. So let me just get a little bit of this color in here, which is really an off-white, but you're not going to notice it. It's almost white. The only reason why I want to stick to the rules of matching the photos right down to the lightest color is because I'm just trying to get the results that you can only get doing it that way. So I'm taking my line out with a kneaded eraser. Okay, and I do believe this is General, the brand General. It's a really good kneaded eraser. The other one, I think is, let me make sure I'm not telling you the wrong thing. Okay, this one I think is a Prismacolor, and it's good for some things, like when I do my ads and I want to stick a little piece of this on the back of that, so when I lay it down it stays in place, that kind of thing. But it's not too good for erasing. It's too it falls apart. So they make sure that name is I know I saved the package and I wrote on it. Yeah, Generals. So probably the one that's going down getting too like clay-like is Faber-Castell. I'm not sure. It's important because we've got, General is the one. What did I write? The good one. It's the tough one. This is a self-cleaning eraser. See how it gets cleaner and cleaner, and you can flatten it and you can lighten any graphite just like that, and it doesn't fall apart. This one can do the same, but it you know, it after you use it a little bit, it starts getting cranky on you. And so that's my experience with it, and so that's what I recommend. The general, buy a bunch of them. This is my favorite stream to watch while I'm pooping. I don't know if that's flattery, or and I guess you're not a shy type. Oh my gosh, I don't believe that. I don't think I ever had a comment like that one. Well, I hope you enjoy it, and I'm going to be putting some 4021 back into my color. Oh, I'm pooping. I can't believe you said that. Oh boy. Well, anyway. So, this is just the lightest, the white here, which is right there underneath the gray that's kind of in the picture. I'm going to be make sure that it's on the right. No, it's not. Okay. I have to switch hoses. This one leaks. So let me just switch to the other hose. I got to buy another Mac valve. Somehow it's just not sealing, you know, keeping everything. This one's I've been using all day, and you can control the volume of air by that, raising it and lowering it. So switching out, and I'll get to it. The micron. Okay, hopefully I got the right hose here. Yeah. Using a silent air compressor, and it's got the half horsepower, 6-gallon tank, and it's called the Terry Hill model. Terry Hill was a great teacher, t-shirt artist, and probably fine art too. But anyway, make sure this color is coming. It's hard to test the color when it's. All right, what's going on here? Did I grab the wrong one? You're not going to see this color. Pencil line might disappear, but that's about it. So it's about there. Comes over here a little bit near the flower. I'm seeing the pencil line disappear. So just hang in there with that one, because I think I hooked the gun back up to the same hose. It's just seeming that way, at least. If I have a problem and the micron's acting up, I'll just use the Eclipse, because that wasn't acting up. My intention was to put my new parts on my Micron today, but Color Graphics, how are you? But I didn't get to it. So I have a new nozzle, new tool to put it in, and of course, a brand new needle. Okay. So the pencil line's going away, and this is a grayer white than the actual. I'm going to air dry it now. This is a grayer white than the board, and it will play into. I'm covering the pencil lines. It'll play into the final look, as opposed to just using white paint, because it's not white there. Okay, so that's it. I won't bore you anymore with this this color. Okay, the gray goes all the way over. We'll do this. You got it sometimes. Well, when I'm mixing colors, I'm air drying with the airbrush. So we'll just get that in there, bury that line. It's gone. Opaques can bury lines. Transparent, see-through, cannot bury the lines. All right, now we're going to have some fun, so hang in there, because we'll go to our next color that you can start to see. Okay. Yeah, that other, I had it on the wrong hose. All right, so I have them in order. I'm going to be going to, oh, what am I going to do? Let's see. Well, I'm going to work around this area so I don't have to go by number. So I've got a gray tone right here, and that would be, that one. So I marked the color. I marked it number 3, number 4. No, it's 3. It's number 3. Yes, it is. So the grays get, you could just take one gray and you can, because there's nothing magical that's going on inside the grays. They don't have colors in them. They just have black and white. But I decided to just make the gray. Let me just get my hand out of there. I just decided to control it a little better. This way I won't overshoot, you know, with, this has kind of a nice little soft shape there. And then this one's grayer out here, so the white starts to go away. And it's real gray over here before it meets up with the actual dark green. That's actually black over there. I mean, I could use green and then put the black over it and kind of let some of the green show through. I might do that. When you're in control of the painting, you can literally have fun doing things like that. Okay, so that goes up to the corner, and it looks like 2 cotton balls, right? A little darker right here. Looks like a butt. Okay, now we need to get that darker. Okay, that's waiting now for the blue. I'll go to the blue. So the out of focus background paints itself. If you have a little map, I have a little guideline there. It's really fun once you start getting to the colors that would be the green and the yellow. It's like painting a sky, sunset, you know, one color blends into the next. Okay, so let me go to, and get in the habit, if you are going to use the little color cups, get in the habit of putting the lid back on. Keeps it from drying out, keeps it from spilling. And even if you're not into the numbering and you're making, say you're making mixtures of transparents that you want to store, and you made a nice transparent color with a number of different, you know, hues mixed in, then when you do transparents, you got to control the value, lights and darks, by pressing and releasing the, you know, the airbrush. Okay, so, all right. When I get near the flower, which is coming up right now, once I get near the flower, I will put this little piece in here, line that up right there, okay? And there, so that's really right where it belongs. In the meantime, that line comes, that's the blue. So the blue starts at the tip and it goes to that one. Okay, so draw a little darker here for a minute. I can erase this later. Right there. And the blue will start right here. I even had an arrow in top because I've hand cut this and it just sat better on this. Was a factory cut. Mine got a little wavy. So I make sure that was the top. It's 3/16 thick Claybord. It's made by Ampersand. And I'll just show for people that don't know what Claybord's like. Just show the wrapping that it comes with. Okay, so that's for an 11 by 14. You can see you can get 12 by 36s. You can get 5 by 7 packages. You can get all kinds of sizes. So anyway, it's a great high-end piece of material, super smooth, and it's clay sealed onto this masonite, which is about 3/16 thick. So it has a support, it's a substrate, and you can get them already pre-cut. I had scrap laying around, and I have my jigsaw, and so, and it is museum series panels. It's a archival, Archiva seal. What are they? You know, basically acid free. It's made, the best panels I've had is Claybord. There are other companies, I guess, but I like the smooth clay board, not the ampersand. It's got texture on it. I don't have no need for that one. Okay, so yeah, let me get the blue out. I am going to knock this pencil line away. I can see a ghost of it, but my transparent, my opaque paint will cover it. That's just a little nick. Okay. The blue has that gray on top, so let's get the blue out. And I was just talking about, I had two colors going, so shut them, keep them sealed. Here's my color. At the end of mixing this color, and I wouldn't have seen it if I didn't have the instructions from Drew with the color theory. At the very end of mixing my color, I started to see, and remember, this is my reference picture. It's different than the smaller picture. That's not the blue I mixed. The blue I'm mixing is more gray. But once I got to a place where I had my last little, what do I need to put in this color? That's when I saw violet, probably like a red violet. I wouldn't have seen that before. I mean, you actually see it with your own eyes when you get to that. So I recommend the color theory course every time, because this is what I'm painting. This is the style. I don't teach Drew's color theory. The only way I would be able to teach that would be private lessons with his permission. We talked about that a while ago, but I'm not doing any of that. I'm doing this for free for you guys. So I can't teach that stuff. But I can turn you on to the greatest color theory course I've ever taken in my life. Hands down. Not to say other people don't have great theories, like Stephen Driscoll. He had a great control of the transparents. I think Drew's coming out with a lot more about transparent painting, because a lot of people, this takes long. But boy, I've been wanting to master this and match my colors for a long time, and you got to really have the time and you got to have the patience. But he promises you in the video that, and you own the video for life. It's kind of emailed to you. He promises you in it that you will get these colors down from maybe taking, in the beginning, over an hour to do, because it's so hard at first, then down to minutes. I mean, that's where I'm at now. Sometimes I wrestle with a color. It takes me, I get mad. It's like, it takes me too long. And I'm like, what is going on here, man? Okay, so where is this one? That's the big one there. And then it goes up to here. So I'm going to blow it in darker. But I'm going to let it melt as it goes up, and I'm going to let it melt, meaning far away at the bottom. And then right here by the flower, I'm going to get full strength right in there. And then a little fog. And I've got that where I want it. And like I said, I'm working with different colors than the one you see in the reference. Again, this is this color. And I could spray it even darker, more saturated, more second coating it. Okay, so now that I got that, I'm going to take some of this blue and I'm going to go up into that gray just a little bit right there, get that shape. And right here, I'm going to kind of just a little bit like that. Just make a nice shape, you know? Okay, so now there's a gray again. I can actually put a little blue under the gray. Where does the gray go to? It's on this one here. So I'll just lock that on there. freehand stencil, paper cut out. Change your blade a lot. And I'm just going to blow a little, just a little tone right in that area. Come back up and move this stencil on better, right there. Okay. All right. What I like about the paper stencils is you don't get the stenciled frisket like it looks like a stencil. You'll get back and forth from the petal of the rose to the color coming in. You'll be in control of all of that, and you will not have it looking like somebody just put a stencil down. Those hard edges. You've got to manage your edges. You've got to say, what kind of edge do you see? Is it hard? Is it soft? Is it intermediate? And then you'll be able to do that. I was going to continue on the sunset painting this week, and I decided last night, there's where I'm at. This is what I was working from. You can see the color matches and stuff. But there's so much going on in here. I was like thinking about when I was trying to do it, little areas. I said, this is going to be so boring. I mean, maybe a sample of doing a little section like that. But to paint this whole thing, I've got to be, I got to work on it alone and then maybe show you guys a demo of some of the smaller waves. I've painted other waves that show you how I treat them like mountains. But anyway, this is better for you. Okay. 2 weeks ago, I had my grandchildren. I told everybody that, that weekend was a family weekend. And believe it or not, when they left, I was coming back into another Tuesday, and it's like, I don't have a project. I've had the kids here for I think we had them 2 nights and 3 days. And then other family members came for birthday party and stuff. So I couldn't do anything about that. It wasn't happening. So here I am tonight. All right, so gray. We want gray. Blow that color out. Sometimes you make a nice color and you want to be able to save it, but if it's in the airbrush and you can't get it to pour out, then you're going to have to just blow it out, and that's it. No, I don't treat the boards. They're from, I don't have time for that. They're from Ampersand, right out of the factory. The only thing I'll do is hand cut a board, to the size I want sometimes. When I bought a 2x3, I found if I cut them myself, I got more for my money. If you cut all different sizes from it, but that can be a pain in the neck too. But it did save me money there. But there was a demo of making Claybord. One of our airbrush friends there, I'm trying to remember who it was, his name. He's not on a lot anymore, so. But he has a demo if his page is still up. All right, so I need the gray again, right here. So I'm going to take this gray here and spray it lighter. Before the green comes, the green comes up to the gray, the yellowish area. Okay, so let's get a little gray going in there. Got the fan blowing the thing. Move this out of the way. I got a tray to my side. This will move along and show the white rose as I put color up to the edge. Okay, so I want to put this back on there. I have my holder to the right, holding the gun. And I want to find the right placement. Now, the nice thing about a hand shield like this is you literally can let some underspray under it. You can do things like that. So I'm going to just knock that out a little bit. And in this early stage, you can erase pencil lines right up into the color, that kind of stuff. It really becomes soft looking. Manage your edges and you'll be really happy with your work. You'll be like, It won't look like a stencil. That's what you don't want. And cut out your image like you mean business, because otherwise a lousy cut out image will show up on here. Okay, did I put the gray in? I hope I did. Yes, I did. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to show you the gray right there. And it's coming off of this guy right here. So I'm just gonna second coat this right here. And I'm gonna pay attention to the value. It's about that dark. That's it. And maybe one more pass at the edge going this way, a little darker that way. And then we've got the gray, and we're waiting for the green now. Okay, so this can come back up in here, this gray, like that. Make adjustments as you go, just looking at your image. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. It's out of focus, blurry. Sometimes I make too much color. I was flying, came home from Walmart, and I mixed one or two colors before I went somewhere around 12 o'clock. Took my wife to Walmart. We were gone for about an hour and a half, maybe. Had a synchronized dinner, had a synchronized mixing more color. I had 7 colors to make. So as far as getting faster at matching, I matched, from like 3:30 on. So we must have went to Walmart later. From 3:30 on, right up until you guys, come on here, 7 o'clock, throwing in a couple of grilled cheese sandwiches, I mixed 7 or 8 colors, 8 colors. So that, and I got them all to where I was happy with them. So you do get faster, and I couldn't do that over the years. I had to really study it, and what really helped me was having the information that I owned that color theory course, going over it and over it and over it again until you just know it. You know it by heart. And then if you forget something, you just rewatch it. All right, I'm going to put a little bit of, no, it looks pretty liquidy. 4021 is great. My paints they just last for weeks. And you can wake them up when they start getting like dried up looking. You can still wake them up like, it's unbelievable. So here we go. We're going to get some nice, pretty green in there. And the green is the same green, just that this is a little more saturated, a little more brighter. So I need the cutout. Now it's going to start looking fun because we're talking about colors, other colors. The blue and the green, just like the sky and the grass, it's just a natural God, well, I believe in God, so God thing, the blue sky, green grass, and it just looks beautiful. This is very yellowy here, so I'm going to test the color on a piece down below. And I love the golden hour, when you can come at it and have a camera and get so much. Oh, it's just unbelievable what you can do. I'm going to let that flop a little bit. And let's see, the green is going to be under here too. My stencil shifted a smidge. There's even a glow around, it's almost like an outline around the rose. And that glow can be put in with the eraser. I wish Tombow, the eraser company, would make aggressive erasers with their push pen type of thing, but they don't. Okay, so there's a pencil line I didn't erase, but this color will cover it. Okay, so I'm staring at the photograph, and now I'm going to put in some color right there. Full strength. It'll cover it, the pencil line will disappear, and you'll start to see that pencil line will go away, but I ran out of paint. But this color, I sprayed lighter up in the top area. So let's go back in here. And you can also push the envelope with transparents. These aren't transparents anymore. They were made with transparent paint. I didn't buy Createx opaque paints. I want to control the colors and how fast I can get to a color by having the transparents, putting the white in it, and that kind of stuff is what makes you have an opaque paint. You can't see through it. It covers, totally covers. Now I gotta watch out for edges here. So I'm going to just put that back down again. I was flying through this cutout, man. I was like, that's why I was 2 or 3 minutes late, 5 minutes late. I didn't want to cut it out while I'm on here because I don't cut this angle. I cut on a clipboard on my lap, or I will cut out on the whole mat is behind here is a art tool thing, but I can tilt it all the way down if I want. So let's get this down here. Just cover that 100%. It's going to cover that pencil line and air dry it. But you could come back in now. Got to air dry that. It starts to get ugly looking there. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what we got. So the other color is going to come back in there. And I'm going to take a little yellow, transparent yellow, right out of the bottle. And I'm going to just put it into the gun, the dirty airbrush. And I'm going to just enhance this yellow up there, this green, by adding painting on top of the opaque paint. Okay, so dirty airbrush, it doesn't matter. I'm going to mist it in and kick up the saturation a bit and make the painting, you know, my painting, make it more lovely green. See that right there? Look at that, it lights right up. Look at that. Okay, this is getting a little, this is time for the dark green. Okay, so let me get the yellow out of there. I guess I could spray some of that yellow right there. Don't want to get too far away from my original mixtures, but I just, if you sprayed that yellow just on a piece of Claybord like this, it's going to be super bright, see? Because that's right out of the bottle. But there's a color there waiting, and it's, you know, waiting to be tweaked. And you can erase in the early stages, you can erase the transparents. If this was anything you wanted to make, you know, different erasable marks, you got to do it in the window that Createx gives you. You can erase later, but opaques are real hard to erase. But the transparents can be erased right off the board, actually. But right now, I'm just showing you how bright that was. Okay. Even this blue and my blue, I'm sticking with my blue. This blue is a little too cartoonish. But if I wanted to kick that up, I could do just what I did with the yellow, and I could put the transparents right there. Okay, so Stuart, how are you? And who else we got here? Yes, good morning to you, my Australian friend. Okay, so yeah, these boards, like I said, they're ready to go, and all you got to do is order them. They come in cellophane, and they're ready to go. They're ready to go. You can even, you know, you can scratch into them. You can sand them a little bit. Of course, you got to use the 1000 sandpaper if you're doing different things. What do I got there? Something got on that. How did that happen? Okay, so that's opaque paint. Okay, and it can come off, but I'm just gonna show you another thing that's nice about this is a little Windex here. And you can just remove the paint that way. Get a clean one. I don't recommend having the sand because the sand can leave little fine scratches and stains and different things. This is coming off pretty good. Yellow's a real good staining color. It stains. When I had my store, we had the commercial floors. Man, we couldn't get that up for nothing. So that doesn't want to come off right at the moment, but I could get that off later. That's going to be the flower part. Okay, so let's get the green going. Now this is the dark green. So put this light green away. It does, this green yellow kind of comes back over here. It's out of the picture now. Over here, whoops, over there. Backside of a leaf or whatever. Okay, we'll put that to the side. Actually, we probably could get that into the picture a little bit more if we do this and then bring the picture over a little bit. Okay, let's try this. Just turn it. I want you to be able to kind of see the reference picture, obviously. So one color melts into the next. The next one we got is the dark green. As I got to the end of mixing the green, I thought I saw brown. Like what was going to change my color? What was going to shift it over to make it the right color? And I didn't see the brown in the early stages. Man, maybe you can notice it if you stare at it under color correct lighting. But I was flying, trying to get it done. Oh, I thought we were going to have a power outage here. Okay. So. Yeah, if you see movement on the phone like this, that's because I have a fan on to help me, you know. I should have the window open to put the old paint out the window, but it's really hot out there, so I'm not spraying that heavy. It's a small painting too. All right, so start at the bottom. I'm not putting this in the bottom here. It must be some kind of a next section of the flowering, whatever, but I'm not putting it in. What's that? Look like a signature there. Wow. Oh, that's not a signature. Guess what that is, guys? That's the word top, and the arrow goes this way. And there's the arrow. So I didn't flip it, which is no big deal. It's just that this was a little uneven. I can file it. But that was my note to myself, and I didn't pay attention to it. Okay. Now at this point in the game, I'm going to use a low-tack. This is called Deltec tape, and it's gentle on paper, it's gentle on everything. It won't rip up the stencil, and I don't care about the top of the stencil right now as far as, I just don't want to keep holding it and dropping it and all that fun stuff. Just put that there for now, so I don't have to drop it. And now I can just check the registration, make sure I got it where I want it. shift it over a little. There we go. I could put it right on the paint. There. Okay, so is that right? Something's not lined up here. Okay, let me drop that down a little. Okay, let's see. Hope my arm's not in the way, but it is. All right, so having done that, I can steal this piece and put that there. Now I got that waiting for, this is going to be frisket later, because I want to cut out those beautiful little thorns. This is just floppy right now, so let's get the green. I'm just about probably 5 or 6 inches away from the surface. Misting it. Now this is not the shape, so I'm just going to go to probably right around here. Now we're going to get dark. Okay, wet my whistle. Thirsty. Okay. Okay. So we can put that back there. I don't want to. At least you can see something, right? There we go. All right. Remember, this green is not the green I mix. It's darker. Where's my green? Put my yellow over there. And then the rose is very layers, see-through light. You know, the light coming through. You've got all kinds of transparency stuff going on. That will be as we go. We'll get to that part, but today we're working on the background. Let's see how far we get. I only mixed one rose color right now, like I said, just to start it. Right here, I see it kind of doing a thing here. And then the yellow reappears back in there. Now it starts getting dark. Got to stay away from there. Now I'm going to spray it 100% over itself. I'm going to add some, probably some more green in there later, or just tint over it with this green, making it go back into itself right here. Yeah, like that, where you could see it, but there's no more edges. It's just lights and darks. Okay, careful of that. Okay. Spraying it at 100% to get what I need. Oh, look at that piece there. It didn't pop out. Get out of there. That guy's not going to behave, you know that. Take that off there. That's like a, looks like a dead leaf. So now I can go back to the area that I tore off part of the stencil and just sharpen this to more of a point, aggressive eraser. I'm just going like that. I get a little chiselly edge. So then you can just kind of go right where it was. And leave a mark for the twig or whatever it is to come through. The same thing here. This little guy flips up here. So I'm going to just leave a little room for that to flip up like that. Because I obviously didn't. Cutting the stencil 100 miles an hour. That's all right though. Those little pieces usually give you trouble. You can even go further than, you know, erase more than you need to. Because I could come back in and there's an interesting shape here. So let's see. Let's get, I have a miniature, it's Mylar, it's French curve, small, a very small one, and it's for, it has organic edges. It has a little bit of a rough edge. I'm trying to open this drawer and find it. This is the big French curve. Even has all the extras in it, little. But you gotta make sure you cover them when you're using it. Wait a second here. Sometimes they're not where you put them. I got so many stencils. I love this one. This one's great. You can paint like an iris, and you can also block and paint around it. It's got the negative and the positive going on. All right, I'll just use the next size up. It's not rough edges, but what I want to do is just take that, because remember I didn't have the little stencil there, and get dark there. And the same thing here, just find the curve, and then you can cut up into the white area just a little bit, like that. And that allows me to have that nice little area that will be waiting for another color, waiting right there. Okay, so while we're at it, I'm not going to paint the green right into this area yet. I can put it here, but again, the frisket's for next week. I can definitely put it here, go around like that, and I can get close. There's no thorns right there, so I just can go out, stay away from that edge. Just go out that way. All right, I'll get a little closer here, just freehand. Let's take this off and see what we got. Okay, so we've got it's starting to come, and it's still got workable areas. Like right in here, the stencil wasn't lined up, so I could just take this shape actually. Yeah, right here. Just kind of work it. Got to be careful of those little dots. That's the part where the rose comes out. And I went a little too far right here. Just erase it out. Shape it. Aggressive eraser, because it wasn't really coming off. There we go. And that can come a little closer. I see green on this side of the actual, I don't know if you guys can see it. There's a little green reflection right on that, the skin of that bulb or wherever the rose comes out of the base there. But when you're working with these erasers, you have to clean them on paper, you know, get the dirty paint off. You can also use a new x-acto and lay it on its side and go after, not this one, this is bent from me cutting and rushing so fast to get anything done. Cutting out that stencil had a hook on it by the time I was done. But you could come in and use just the tip, and you can erase, or you can carve out, like right there. Just a little back and forth kind of stuff. Clean that up. There's a thorn. They only want to go in one direction, these lovely little blades. They just want to go one direction. Okay. Overspray. Got onto the flower. I'll be cleaning all that up and making sure it's ready for all the pinks, all the reds. Mixing that red, make sure you use a little bit of orange, or your pink will go crazy on you. It'll just be, it won't manage it. You gotta put orange in it. And then whatever else you're trying to match. So I'm just cleaning up overspray on part of the rose right here. Here too. Okay. Don't forget, this can be watched, obviously. It'll be on my YouTube channel. And if you want, share it too, or share it to your page, and then you can watch it at your own leisure, or share it to an Airbrush page, a WADA, or one of them. Even if you shared it now, they would see it live, at least part of it live, right? That's just the blue getting onto, and the pencil line too. Just little circles. Erase that out. I'm going to get my metal sharpener, and I'm going to really give myself a better point. Be right there. This sharpener is really a great one. Doesn't have any encasement around it. Mapod, M-A-P-O-D, I think. So when you do, you know, you're talking about, let's see, is it going in that one? No, I'm going this one. It really is a good eraser. It's going after the aggressive eraser right now. I mean, it's a good sharpener, I'm sorry. This probably will wear out the blade quickly. I want to get it to be about there. Because you keep sharpening them with a regular sharpener, you'll lose the pencil quicker. But right now, you need to have more control. And I keep turning the pencil little by little to make sure it doesn't just fall apart, because it starts to get broken down a little bit. Pencil line, just kill it. Here's a pencil line. There's a highlight there too. And like I said, there's a highlight around here. That's getting weak. There's actually a highlight around that. So I can erase beyond it, I think. It might not let me. Oh, it's opaque, but it's still in the early stages where you can erase it a little bit. It wants to break, see, it wants to break off. Well, no overspray on these flowers, because then it will change the color and fight me all the way. Broader strokes, you can just go after them like that. Okay. So the next area is going to be black. Don't ask me why, but it is. Very dark area that just maybe is a cluster of trees and no lighting coming in. But in my photograph, even the small one, it's black. It's black. So I'll spray the black. I should put the black in the gun though before I do anything else. Don't really have to worry about, except for tip dry, you don't have to really worry about cleaning the gun, going from a hunter green to the black. Finish my sentence. Okay. I wouldn't mind putting a little of this. I'm just going to see if it makes a difference. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Putting a little green down first. Of course, I run out of green. One hand in it here. Because you could get away with the green up there. You know, it will be fine. But this sets, I'm copying the photograph, so I'm going to paint what I see. Like the photograph and been wanting to paint it for a long time. I took that picture back before 2013-ish, and it never got around to painting it. I don't paint flowers a lot, so that's probably one of the reasons. Okay. All right, so let's get the black in the gun. Okay, so black goes in here. I'm going to spray the black lighter in the area at the bottom, just a smidge away from, like I have my note on here, black, it's black. I made sure that it really was black and didn't have like a brown or some kind of green tint. But I said near the base, oh, paint 4, it's a gray. Oh yeah, I have to put a gray here. You can see it. You can see it. It's a gray, darker gray that goes into a black. And if you don't pay attention to that, so I'm glad I just said that, because I would have skipped over that part and I would have been in trouble. Not in trouble, but it would have been different. Doesn't seem like the right color though. Number 4. Well, I'll paint what I can. Okay. So because it's curling, I can also just come at it from this way instead of going and blowing underneath this. Don't want that. So what's going on here? Gray. It's just a little bit of gray before it meets up with the black. And the black probably wouldn't really, it wouldn't look right. I could spray gray, black over this gray, but I'm trying to just get it to be at the base, right there, leaving me an option for the, and then this out here, make adjustments as I go. Okay. Time for the black. Okay. So the black, the reason why the black's in a little cup is I put 40-21 in it just to make it flow a little nicer. And yeah, that's the only reason. Sometimes out of my bottles, some of them are really old. Like I got the 2-ounce white and it poured out like beautiful. You didn't need nothing. But then I got the big, what was it? 16-ounce white for you know, helping myself have more white in stock. Oh my gosh, I could have sent it back. Probably was defective from traveling across the country or something, but I didn't. I've been refilling it into a little guy, and I put the 40-21 in there or reduce it somehow. It still works. It didn't dry up on me, but it's pretty lumpy, the big bottle. They would have taken it and switched it for me. Okay. Okay. Black. So the whole rose is now obviously waiting for its pretty colors. Just getting rid of the gray in here. And every 15 seconds or so, go after the tip dry if need be, you know, and then you can just go after it a lot and rock the needle and peel. I just took my fingernails down to a little bit too short because I was trying to pick up an airbrush needle. I was playing the guitar and I don't like the fingernails, right? It's no good. But I clipped them really short. I need a little fingernail, but I don't want the fingernails with the fretboard. I don't like that feeling of them crashing into the fretboard. Okay. That's my green. My black is over there, and here we go. Put a little more in there. Don't overfill your cups, you know, the side cup. Okay, so take the old stencil again. Line it up. Try to keep it darker at the top and right in here. It's a little lighter there. Not something you can see a lot, but sorry for any shaking or anything like that. All right, so we've got background in, and I can enhance that with, we got black in the gun right now, but I could kick in some yellow here, but again, I'm looking at the wrong, this is more accurate here. This even needs a little bit of that green over that color from my picture there, and I'm going to do that. So just make sure I like what I see here. It's a little darker green in here. The way I could do that is just put this on here. And just tint over that green with the black, because it turns to a darker green. So just do that, still letting it be green, hopefully. Yeah. Even in here, it will have more black in the color on the edge, but you'll still see some green. It just gives it value and change. Even through here, there'll be a little more darker area that comes across right in that area. Okay. Don't want to kill it, so leave it at that. Okay. So what do we got here now? So light to dark, the first color, right on through to these colors, laying them all in. Still erases at this point. I should say easier, you know. That's called underspray, right? Gets under the stencil. The handheld shield or whatever you want to call it. Okay, I can clean that up even better a little bit with some Windex if I need to. But if there's any residue like this overspray, it will ruin the pink. Because if you ruin some of the background by erasing out into it, it's easy to fix. It's just black right there, and that's just the green. They're all just colors that can be worked. But if you have overspray here, you're in trouble. There. There and there. Okay, even here a little bit. So that's going to have that yellow. I'm going to clean out the gun. While I have some colors that are already mixed, like that one, I do believe I can get away with that color. Yeah, it might be more. I better not. It's not as green, it's more yellow, so I have to make that color. You have to be picky and choosy when you're trying to copy the photograph. Went this far, went to this much trouble mixing colors, so I might as well stay with the program. Cleaning out the black because I'm going to be going over to my little bit of pink there. Let's see. Okay, so I'll just flush it with some distilled water. Okay. I've had my water got warm. Oh man. Let me get a cold water. Now, I did mix up this little bit of pink here. What area did I go for? I went for right. Oh, I see what's going on here. All right, so this guy is going to come all the way down. This is going to round off right in here to here. Then this is going to cut through. And it's missing right here. Whoops. Right there. So that's the pink I made. Let's test the waters. There's my color. There's even a little, did I use magenta? I might have used, yeah, I did use magenta. I had red, I had magenta, orange, and white with red violet. And when I say those other colors like the red violet and stuff, I'm talking about a tiny bit. Little brush, paintbrush worth, you know. So let's just get one of these Mylar stencils, find the shape. And that's not the shape. That's the shape right there. Whoa, I was cleaning out the airbrush. Just want to see the contrast here. That's, yeah, the light pink, that's going to be there, and then there's going to be a highlight. So, and then the light pink's going to be, it's in certain areas. It's going to be in there. It's going to be out there. So this is going to kind of go like this. Connect that. So I'll have to get more stencily in that area. I think it's down here. Where is this area? Right here, we could probably put a little. So it's the lighter of the, believe it or not, once the other ones come in. So I'll save this color for those areas, but there's going to be even a highlight right. Let me get a clean eraser. I don't care if I make this white or whatever. Right there. That's going to be a highlight. Erase out wider than I really need. bring it down onto the flower for that highlight. And there's a little highlight waiting. So you could do transparent mixtures, you could do all kinds of things. Pencil line right there, we don't want that. Still there a little bit. There it goes. Gotta press hard and go at it. See if I can get that a little cleaner there. Yeah. So once I have my reds mixed up for next week's live, it'll come together quick, you know, with the right stencil sections, paper shields, whatever I want to use. But right now, this is the end of the video as we work it for next week. And I don't know if this is a 4-hour painting, meaning next week, 2 hours, hour and a half-ish, hour and 45 today. Whatever it is, it is. I'll find out. I'll take this off here. Put that down there for a minute. It's pretty gum. It reminds me of gum, like bazooka. Bazooka bubble gum. Okay. So, just to have a little cleaner area. Oops, you don't want that. With no overspray coming off of it. So that's going to be in there. Obviously not the same size. This is the same size. Right there. So, got my work cut out for me, but we got a lot done today. And that's going to be a real dark red right there. It's hard to erase that opaque paint compared to the transparent. But I hope you got something out of it, and thank you for hanging out with me. And I will see you guys, next week. If not, just look for the little advertisement. I put a little short video, 3-minute video up saying I'm coming on, and I'll tag people too and stuff. But this should get interesting down here, when you get into that. It's just color too. It's not like, how do you light them up? You just put the color there against that dark green and against the brownish stem, reddish brownish stem, and that, everything will look like it's lit up and plugged in. Put the right reds in and the pinks, and you got yourself, the believability of the sunlight coming through the rose. So thanks for hanging out with me, and yeah, it's an hour and a half, so I'm going to sign out. You're welcome. Thanks for hanging out, everybody, and be safe out there. Have fun airbrushing. Enjoy everything. I hope everybody's healthy, and God bless you guys, and I will see you most likely next week. Same time, same channel. Good night.